Hello everyone, welcome to Average Joe Watch Reviews, where we do more than just reviews. Alright, so let's just dive on in. I've got the Mickey hands on today, and we're looking at a vintage late 60s Hamilton. Not sure what the model is. I really don't have much information on this watch. This was lent to the channel from my friend Joey Bible. This was actually a present from his wife, and he's had it in the drawer for multiple years. And he did used to wear it, and as you can see, the flex band here has some discoloration to it. But I wanted to compare this vintage Hamilton against a modern day Hamilton. Now this one's a field watch, but you know, I just wanted to really compare the movements, the size, and really the look of the two watches, and show you modern day features versus vintage features. So let's take a look at the two side by side, and I think right away you'll be able to tell that there is a sure size difference. Now this one here, the Khaki, is a 42 millimeter, whereas the dress watch here is a 33 millimeter, guys. 33 millimeters. Case thickness, it is a thin piece. We're looking at 8 millimeters, automatic, by the way, automatic timepiece, versus I believe this is a 42, and thickness, it is definitely thicker at 11. All right, our Lug To Look on each model. On the Hamilton, first and foremost, you're looking at a 51. And on the vintage piece with the flexo band, you're looking at a much lesser measurement at a 40 millimeter. So even Lug to Lug is still smaller than the total case diameter of the field watch. Your bracelet here is only a 16 millimeter. So that's very thin. And this one here is a 22, and I do have the aftermarket Milano strap made in Italy. This review will be coming very, very soon, so stay tuned for that. So let's take a look at movements. You can see this movement, but I could not get the case back off of this one. So what we're going to do is we're going to compare just how the movements work. All right, so we have them both working. First, let's just wind the modern day Hamilton. It's got that grainy sound. And when you wind this actually has a clutch that will slip to prevent overwinding of the mechanism. So you can wind this watch all day long and it will not coil up the spring and ruin the movement. So that's a really good feature in a modern day Hamilton. Let's take a listen to the sound of the vintage one. Much different. Once you feel resistance, you have to stop because there is no clutch mechanism. And if you try to force it, you will break the coil and the mechanism, or should I say the movement, and it will definitely be useless. So you have to be careful when winding these movements. And if you feel any kind of resistance, just stop and you'll be fine. Now this one does have a rotor, I believe. I may be wrong though. I can't see the movement, nor I don't feel a rotor. So this one might just be a hand wind. So I think it's just a hand wind. Okay, so You've got a rotor, so this is considered an automatic versus a manual watch that you have to wind, and there is no rotor to move. So when you're moving your wrist, it will not wind itself. You have to hand wind it. Another thing that I found interesting that I didn't know until I was actually playing with this off camera was setting the time. Now, there's only one click position, which is setting the time. And as you notice, there is no hacking feature. So the hand continues to move as you set the time. And you should always go forward. Always go forward. So as we set the time, it is very, it feels tight. It feels quality. Honestly, it really does feel good. After all these years, this watch has never been serviced, by the way. So this watch is running very, very, very nicely, very accurate. When we change the time of this one, we have to go out 2 positions because the first position would be the date. And as you notice, the hacking function, which means that the second hand is now frozen, and you can then set the time. And a lot of people will wonder, well, what's with the hacking feature? Well, if you want to synchronize your watch to another clock, another watch, if you want to really get an exact time up against another time source, it's a nice feature to have. And then you plop it back in, and you're running again. When it comes to the motion of the hand, it's a lot looser. Okay, I honestly feel like turning this crown is definitely more of a quality feel. But look, it's a Hamilton. I mean, I know because it's older, I'm sure things are a little bit tighter, but this one just doesn't feel, doesn't have the same feel. Okay, and there we go. So if we take a real close-up of the dials. Now, I don't think that this one was cream colored new, but I could be wrong. But as you notice, it's actually getting a little bit of a green tinge to it on the inside of the case. And there's definitely it's just aging. All right. The Hamilton logo and everything is actually in great shape. All the indices are in place. The crystal itself is actually acrylic. It's a boxed acrylic crystal, and it gives the watch a nice, unique look. And as you can see, it's got a very slim profile, and it does have the Hamilton logo on the crown. Applied indices, and the numbers themselves are printed along with the Hamilton logo. We take a look at the field watch, and we have pretty much everything here is printed. It is a true cream dial. You do have the Hamilton H on the crown. You do have nice polishing. And there's definitely lume on this one as well. This one looks like it may have had lume at one point, but being as old as it is, that this lume is definitely not working anymore. The other interesting thing that you guys will notice is that look at the lugs. Okay. The lug look really, it almost has like that Hamilton H look to it. And they're very similar in style. You know, I mean, these two watches look like they are relatives. You know, they definitely share like the same, like even like the case shape. It's just a smaller version of this guy. Even though this one is more of a dress earpiece and not considered a field watch. But I just wanted to really just kind of walk you guys through the difference between a vintage and a modern watch. And as you can see, this is your case back, and these bracelets here, they can be super comfortable unless you have very hairy arms, and then these are definite hair pullers. So, but yeah, that is old versus new. I was doing a little bit of research. You can get these watches anywhere from maybe like $150 to, maybe $300. And this one brand new, you can get anywhere from, I'm seeing these guys close to $500 now still. So, but the black version I'm seeing in the 300. So, price wise, you can really get. If you could find one of these for $150, great. It's a great piece, and as you can see, as I said, this thing has never had a service, and it's still running, and it keeps good time. So, which leads me to, there's always time to be kind to one another. Please take care of each other. Thank you very much for joining me, and I'll see you guys next time on Average Joe Watch Reviews. God bless.